Hello everyone, welcome to... Is this started? Yes, okay. Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of my videos on NWN2 scripting. So last video, we saw how to open hacks and extract the files. We saw that files in the hack we saw was 2DA files. Now we're gonna see how to work with those. So 2DA files are basically tables, so like database tables or, oops, what am I doing here? So like database tables or if you're, like Excel spreadsheets, depending which unit, whatever, so basically that. To open them, you can, well, like if you're so close to spreadsheets, you can actually open them with Excel, but I would not recommend that unless you're really good with Excel, because there's a program made specifically for them. I'll put the link down in the description of this video. It's called the TLK Edit 2. So here we go. TLK Edit 2. When you open it, you can download it the same way as you download the packer. So it's gonna look like this. To open a file, you go to File, Open, find your folder where your file is located. Again, I recommend making a separate folder where you put all your stuff while you're working on them. So like, you got my folder here. So open folder, file, .2da. It's gonna look like this, so a table, basically. Some of them are small, some of them are really big. Yeah, they can be thousands of lines and multiple dozen columns. So yeah, you have your columns, you have your rows numbered. I'll go through quickly what it is. So this one is like your spell school, so almost everything in the game is controlled by 2DA, so you can actually edit a fair amount of things. So like, yeah, spell school. So if you want, you could add a spell school. So if I want to add, I don't know, see when I create a line, I want to add I don't know, red magic, new spell school. It's gonna be letter R. So this is what you use in other files to refer to this school. I'll explain this soon. Icon. This is the name of an icon, which is an image file, a .png file. Icons are either 32 by 32 or 64 by 64. You can make your own, or you can just reuse one. Just be careful you reuse one, not to use an icon confusingly. So for example, I wouldn't use another spell school icon. I would use it might be the icon of a domain, spelled like divine domain. So when you wouldn't be confusing. Just careful with that. Opposition. You see this. This will be a reference to the opposite school. So abjuration, opposite school, conjuration. Get back to the description in a moment. The composition, this is for a red wizard, so see it's a reference to your line. These 4 stars here mean it's a blank, so nothing. You never leave nothing like this. You always put 4 stars. This means blank. This is a game understands as like there's nothing. There's supposed to be nothing here. Yeah, you can also say like this. You see I don't have my number. You can delete lines like this, cut a line. You can paste a line, so Control V, paste, see that like this. There's a tool like, now see all my numbers are weird. You can do a table, renumber like this, and it automatically fixes all my number. The thing to know is it does not change your numbers here in your or any other table which have references to this table. It won't change them, so we have to be really careful if you cut lines, because then all your numbers change, but they won't change everywhere else, so all your references will be screwed up. So it normally, unless you really know what you're doing, don't cut lines. You can always just like blank it out if you wanna like remove this line, just like this. So just like this, blank out the line, just to be safe. Like, it doesn't matter if your tables are bigger. Yeah. Other options you have to change, you can do useful option is view here, column 1 and 2 as row header. This here, it basically puts the first two columns of your table on the side, and even if your table is really wide and you have to scroll far to see other columns, these two columns will always stay stick on the side here, so you can see which row you're affecting. Okay. You can also search again when you have really big things. Control plus F. You can decide you want to go. Yeah, I want to find my general line, so I can just right here and it finds the line. You can also use this to replace, but I would suggest not using replace, because you never know, you might find a line you did not expect to find and then change something somewhere you didn't want to change anything, and you might break something by accident. Yeah, so that's this. So yeah, I'm going to talk about these numbers here. So in a table, anytime you have text, so here, the label here, it doesn't actually do anything. As in the player, right now, the player, if he goes in game, he would see there's a spell school here, but he would not see that it's called red magic. Okay. Because anytime you write text in a 2DA, it's just for the people who are editing the 2DA, not for the players playing the game. What the players playing the game see is string references. Okay, so you see the numbers here, and these are references to a line in what's called a TLK file, and this is a file that just contains all the text in the game. Well, all the text that the character screen or stuff has. Okay, and this is a reference to a line. So in the game, the player, say I put I don't know, 1,000 here. Okay, player for this spell school will see whatever's on line 1,000 of our TLK. This is what the school is going to be called for them. That's what we're going to see. Same thing with the school's description. Now it's nothing. If I put I don't know, 2,000, yeah, then we're going to see whatever's on line 2,000. You can have small numbers or really big numbers. When it's small numbers, that's reference to the base game's TLK. So basically, and you can't change that TLK. So if you want to change, I want to change the name of a general school, what you have to do, you have to create a new TLK, or use whatever custom TLK you're already using. So I have one, so you can open it with the same program. Okay, so just the same way, open a .tlk file. So I'm using sigils, but you can make a new one or use whichever one you're using for the mod you're modding for. Okay, and you see it's just lines of text. Here we have just gods. So yeah, and you have what's it called? Yeah, you can just put things around your text, make it nice, and these are lines. But since this is a custom TLK, there's one thing you have to do if you want to refer it. So this is just the number of a line. You don't actually put, if you put 0 in here, you're not gonna see this. You're gonna see the 0 in the base game's TLK. If you want to use this, you have to go into View, Display User String Ref. Okay, you play this, and then the numbers are really huge now. This is the number you have to put in your 2DAs. Okay, for really big numbers. Okay, so View, Display User String Ref. This. Okay, so it's this time is 16. So I would put 16. I think it was this. Yeah, this. Okay. So now, if in my game, if I have both these files used in my module, when I would go in game and make a wizard and choose my school, the general school would be called Bokob. Bokob. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Whatever, it would be this. Okay. So yeah, you have to use your custom TLK and use the big numbers whenever you want your user to see any text on his character sheet or level up screen or feed description or whatever. It's always you have to put in the TLK. Same thing for description, whatever. Whenever it's text. we'll go through the big 2DAs and what all the columns mean when we need them. This is just an example really to use a program. So yeah, NTLK, you have the same options really as you can save here, you can cut lines. Again, I would really not cut lines, and especially in the TLK. If there's no 2DAs who refer to this line, the players will never see the line. So you never really have to delete a line in your TLK unless you really want to like clean up. But you really don't have to. Just if you change the reference, the line will never be seen. So you can just leave it there if you want. So yeah, if you want to know what the columns are not always clear, you can go on the NWN2 wiki, right? NWN2.wiki.com, or Google it, and all the major 2DAs are here. Let's say I want feet.2DA, which has all the feats, right? You can search for this, and it has a handy little description of all the columns in this 2DA. Okay, so sometimes the description is better than others. If you still can't figure it out with this help, you have to either try different things and figure it out. You can look at what the values in that column are to try to guess, or you can find someone who knows and ask them if you have that chance, right? So this is how you use this program. You're going to use it a lot. 2DA work is a big part of what you got to do when you're creating custom content. Alright, so this is it for this. I'm not going to say, I'm going to close. I'm not going to save. Okay, the final program that you're going to really have to use, there's others if you want to do like modeling or stuff, but I'm not going to touch upon that, is the toolset. So your toolset is located same place as your game is located. So wherever you go to launch your game, you can launch a toolset. Right. I'm not going to talk a lot about actual area making, or like which is a big part of it. Like that's not my strong point, and there are already a lot of really great videos on this or tutorial things. I'll link one in the description if you're interested in that. Which you don't really need to know how to use most of the toolset. Really, you're just going to use a small part of it, which is a script part. I'm gonna show you a little bit about tiny bit about area making and stuff, just enough to we're gonna make a really simple test module, and yeah, that's it. So this is your toolset. Probably won't look exactly like this because you can move all the different parts around. You can dock them. You can move them. So this is how I set up my toolset. You can set it up how you like it. So okay, so we're gonna start making just a small test module. So we're gonna create a new area. So you want to make sure you're in your area tab here, and go add, and we're gonna call it start. Right? Make sure it's an exterior. No, okay, exterior. Next, make it tiny. You finish, and you've got your area. So just grass. This little red circle here is where your character is going to spawn. Once this is done, you just want to add just one item. So go into placeable. Go into blueprints. Find out wherever that is. Go into placeables. All right, and put just anything. I like to put a gong. That's what I like to put. So I'm putting a gong here. All right, you got your gong. Click on it, select it, and you go into properties. Okay, this is important. You gotta set this up. First thing, you gotta make sure it's not hostile, like commoner, whatever. Doesn't matter as long as it's not hostile. You don't want your character destroying it by accident, right? You want to make sure that it is not static. All right, so set this to false, and you want to make sure that it's usable. So set this to true. All right, so these two are very important. So that's it for now. Now what you want to do, what I do is I set up a script that's activated whenever I use a gong, and then in that script I'll put anything I need to test my my content. So let's say I made a feed that gives you, I don't know, cold resistance. I might make the gong deal cold damage to the character when they use it, so I can see if my feed's working. Or I might make the gong give experience, so I can level up my character to see my things. Alright, so we're going to make it just thing really quick. So go to Scripts tab, and Add, and you get a script. Your area is still here, so you can switch between them if you need to. Alright, so this is what your... I'll remove this here, and remove this here. I want to... Nope. Wait is this? This, just like this. And... What the hell? This is weird. Alright, I got my things right. Okay, so yeah, this is what your window looks like. It's pretty simple. There's not a lot of stuff in it. It's not a very complex IDE. But this is where you would use script in. You can actually open script files with just like Notepad, but you can't compile them. You need to so this is a compiled language. Then you can't compile with Notepad. I think there are tools to compile outside of a toolset, but I don't know them. I just use a toolset. Alright, but if I just want to, I don't know, like there's a bug and I just want to like open a script to see how it works, you can just open it with Notepad or whatever. So you don't have to like open the toolset and everything. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about everything about the toolset right away, just what we need, and I'll talk about like the language and the different functions as we use them. Okay, so a script, you can always just rename it. Right, find your script, rename. We're going to call it gong on use. Alright, make sure you always give a significant name so you know what your scripts are, because once you start having hundreds of scripts, you don't want to get mixed up. Alright, so you want to have a nice naming convention that's clear. Yeah, alright, so a script, you always need a main. So this is what's going to be always when your script is called. It's the main that's going to be called. All right, you can have more than one function, but you have to have a main if you're going to call that script. So main, no parameters. Okay. So technically this is a valid script. It does nothing. But if I go here, save and compile, okay, right here, it will tell me that my script compiled successfully. If there was an error, let's say I know I have like something random here, okay, it's going to tell me if there's an error. The error messages are not very great. It's not often wrong. The error is wrong. The useful thing is the line it says. It's not always right, but usually it's around that line. So see, it says line 4. It's actually on line 3. All right, so that works. Nothing works. All right. But now it does nothing. I don't want it to do nothing. I want to see like if it works or everything. I'm gonna. So here on the right, you have all your functions. Okay, all the system functions. So there's a lot of them, and this is all the functions you can call to do stuff. All right. So of course, you can search them. So if you want to write, I don't know, you want something with item in it, write item. And it's going to give you all the functions with item in their name, right? Same thing for constants, right? So if you want to, I very suggest you should use constants. It makes your language much more clear. You can also define constant with this at the start. Const, say it's just a constant called test equals 1. Wait, I forgot to say it's an integer. All right. Now I have a new constant. All right. I think it even shows up in here. No, it isn't. All right, whatever. If I write test, all right, the thing will understand it's 1. So you can make your constants. You should use constants. You shouldn't just put random numbers in your script, because it makes it harder to read and understand for other people or even for you later. Right. So this is the way. So you can search. Templates are not super useful. I've never used them. Okay. So yeah, functions, if you want to know what they do, you have a few options. You can just use them and see what they do, but also, okay, when you click them, I don't know, let's say, I don't want to use actions, I want to use, Alright, sure, like this here, okay? Boot PC. In here, when you click on it, you'll see a small description of a function. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. It was made by some people who made them more who did better documentation than others. Alright, this is pretty simple, but it always gives you a not sure how it's called, how you're supposed to write use a function, right? So void, so it returns nothing, and it requires a parameter of an object, which is of a player, right? So like this, so you know how to write it. Yeah, if you're wondering, I learned coding in French, so I don't know what the right terms are for a lot of things. So yeah. Right, so what I want to do, I want to send a message to the person who used my gong to tell them that it worked. Okay, so first of all, I want to find out who used the gong. All right, so I know that that's get last something. Okay, I know that it's that. I get last. I find get last used by. All right, so I look at it. I say, see, this returns an object, so I need an object variable. It's called OPC. It's going to call OPC. The name doesn't really matter. I might talk later about the general naming conventions for the language, but right now it's OPC, and it's so I can either type out get last used by, then do my thing. It requires no parameters. Right, so it would just be like this, or if you double click a function, it'll automatically write it where your cursor is. Alright, so if it's a long one, you can just double click. Alright, this now it'll save who used my gong in my OPC, and now I want to send that PC a message. So this is send. So send message to PC. This looks to be what I want. So I'm going to use this. Send message to PC. So if you double click, spawns it. See, it returns void, so I don't need to save anything in it. It asks my player. So this is OPC, which we saved earlier, and my string. So string is between these little, I'm not sure what they're called, thingies. Okay, or this works. Message done. Close my parentheses. My thing, and this is it. This will tell my PC this works. You'll probably be using this command a lot. Send message to PC when you're trying to debug scripts to send just information to what the script is doing while you're in game. All right. So saved. And now the last thing you have to do, you have to attach the script to the gong. It doesn't know it automatically. So you go back into a properties tab, and when you go all the way down, you have a scripts part, which has a lot of hooks, which you can hook scripts to. So unused, this is what we want. Unused, switch here, and we have a lot of scripts. These are all base game scripts. Okay, you can check out what they do, but almost never use them. Or you can search. So we know that it's gong, and this here. You notice that it's in bold. All your scripts are not in bold. This is because this is the same for all the toolset. Custom content is in bold, and base game content is not in bold. All right, so you can select. Right, gong unused, and now it knows how to use this. When you right now you want to save. You want to save often and do backups and everything, because the toolset is very good at destroying, corrupting, losing, doing really bad things with your content. So save a lot, back up a lot. Okay, so we're going to save. You want to save as a directory. This is a lot easier to work with. You don't normal save directory. Okay. You can make a new one normally. I'm just going to overwrite one that I did earlier, because this is the third time I'm doing this video, because twice now my recording program has stopped working and I've lost my thing. So yeah, so this, I want to override. Watch out not to override stuff you don't want to override. So yeah, so this is saved. Close. I already saved. I don't need to save again. Alright, and now when you go into your game, I use a client extension by default, but you don't need it to test anything. Okay, it's just because that's what I have set up. So yes, create a new game, new module, and your module is going to be here. Okay, so it's a new test module for when we use. So save this, create a new character. No, it's just default. And Zach, hey Zach, we're gonna test our things. So you open up, see you're in your module, and when you click your gong, it sends a message. This works, yay! So our script works. So this is our test module. It's really bare for now. If you need more stuff, you can put stuff in it. It's just a really simple thing. So that's it. It works. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Next video, we're gonna look at probably doing our first spell actually. So we're gonna talk a bit more about the language. Well, ready to talk about spells.2da, which is a 2da file you're gonna be using a lot. Talk about what the different columns are, and yeah, I'll see you there. Hope you enjoy. If you have questions, you can comment or send me an email or whatever. I'll be happy to help. All right.